is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are the Lions.
The Indians got back on the winning track thanks to a red-hot David Murphy and a quality start from Corey Kluber. Today, the Tribe and the Padres will square off for 2 games starting at high noon. Zach McAllister will try to get the day started in style next on Sports Time Ohio. Gorgeous day in downtown Cleveland. The sun is shining. Temperatures will be a little on the cool side, but the Indians and the Padres are all ready for a traditional doubleheader. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe won last night, beating San Diego, and you can make a case that San Diego beat themselves when you take a look at some of the mistakes they made defensively.
Well, early in the ballgame, anytime you score 3 runs and you don't get a hit, that's taking advantage of the situation. It's a ground ball, a throwing error right here, puts the Indians on the board. They were able to get a ground ball, a sacrifice fly, 3-0. Then a botch play by Tyson Ross, and then a big hit by David Murphy, who ends up hitting a 3-run homer. They had 6 runs on 3 hits, so you take advantage of it, and you know, it eases some of the pain of that 3 for 16 on Sunday with running in scoring position.
Yeah, Indians had a little trouble in the bullpen late last night. Vinny Pistano struggled. He's been sent out. C.C. Lee called up to take his spot in the bullpen. We're back with all the play-by-play as the Indians and the Padres get ready for 2 games for the price of 1. Yeah, it'll be a little on the chilly side, but hopefully the Indians will stay red hot offensively as they try to take all 3 from San Diego. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Panini's, get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Beautiful day here at the yard with the sun shining, but the temperature is going to be cool. It's going to be 40 degrees at game time. Breeze isn't too bad, but what we do have is blowing from the left field foul pole toward the right field foul pole as Zach McAllister makes his warm-up tosses. And we'll take a look at Bud Black's San Diego Padres starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Everth Cabrera leading it off, followed by Seth Smith. Yonder Alonso will hit third. Yasmani Grandal will bat cleanup. Then Jed Jerko in the 5-hole. Will Venable batting 6th. Xavier Nady bats 7th. Nick Hundley 8th. And Alexei Amarista will hit 9th.
Let's check out our GMC pitching matchup today. It's Zach McAllister on the mound for the Indians in Game 1, making his second start. Last year, 1-1 in his 3 starts against the National League. He pitched pretty well. 3 quality performances for Zach. He's looking for win number 1. We'll see if he can find the strike zone. Now let's take a look at the key of defense behind McAllister today. It will look like this. In the outfield, it's going to be Rayburn left, Brantley in center, Murphy is in right, Aviles at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis is at second, Swisher at first with Gomes behind the plate. Last night, 3 errors for the Indians.
Brian O'Nora calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. Clint Fagan is at first. Bob Davidson, the acting crew chief, at second. John Tumpain is down at third. Ready to go is Zach McAllister. Is going to face Everth Cabrera to start today's game. And we're underway with a fastball in there for strike 1. Another fastball, another strike.
Now, that was one of the issues, too, the last time out for Zach. Commanding the fastball. He is a fastball pitcher. He comes right out of the chute for the first 2 for strikes.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on 3 pitches.
Not messing around today. He didn't mess around. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon. A high fastball. Good night on our Nissan pitch tracker. That fastball had a little movement running away.
Now Seth Smith 0 for 3 last night in the series opener. He swings at the first pitch and swats it to deep left center. Off the wall, played by Brantley, who's in center this afternoon. Into second with a double is Smith, his first 2-bagger on the year.
Well, he wasn't going to mess around. He saw the first 3 strikes, so he says, I'm going to look fastball. I'm going to get after it, and he did just that. That was a high fastball running away, and he's going to hit it off the wall. San Diego had 6 doubles in the game last night. Their first hit today, a double.
Well, the Padres have been struggling to score runs offensively. Going into last night, they had scored just 12 runs in their first 6 games. That was tied for the 5th slowest start in Padres history. But then last night they did score 6 runs, aided by some late inning action.
They had a game yesterday like the Indians had on Sunday. They were 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position, so they could have scored a lot more had they gotten a couple more hits, key hits.
High pop, shallow left. In comes Ryan Rayburn, fighting the sun, and makes the catch. And we've got 2 down. Keys to the game are brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. For Zach McAllister, trying to be efficient, get deep into the ball game, and offensively looking for some middle of the order output. Yesterday in the ball game, it was the bottom of the order, and then the top man, Nigel Morgan, who was leading off. They provided all of the offense.
I look at that and I say, how about just some output? Doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it comes.
Exactly right. Sometimes you get too caught up in who's hot, who's doing not.
Right.
As long as somebody's driving them in,
as long
it doesn't matter.
Like we say, you break it down into 3 different categories, 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9. Somebody get hot.
Yasmani Grandal takes a strike. He had a big night offensively, going 4 for 5 with a double. But he's off to a terrific start, going 7 for his first 14. Catcher serving as the DH today, Nick Hundley, will be behind the plate for the first of the 2 games played here today. With 2 down, McAllister trying to get through this first inning. 7 out of 8 pitches have been strikes. And there's yet another as it's fouled straight back, and the count 0-2.
Well, you got to like what McAllister's doing. 9 pitches, 8 strikes.
Now the 0-2 offering. Swung
Nice.
out and missed. He struck him out. A couple of Ks in the first for McAllister. No runs, a hit, and a man left. The Indians are coming to bed. No score, bottom of the first. You see Zach McAllister getting pats on the back from catcher Yan Gomes. He cruised through that first inning, saved the double by Seth Smith. Now bottom of the first it will be. The Indians order presented by Progressive Insurance for Terry Francona as Drupal Cabrera moves into the leadoff spot. Then it's Nick Swisher, followed by Jason Kipnis. Santana, Rayburn, Brantley in the middle. And it's Yan Gomes, Mike Aviles, and David Murphy.
And our GMC pitcher for the San Diego Padres, Eric Stoltz, will be making his second start this year. He was roughed up in his first start down in Miami on Friday. 7 hits in 4 innings, 5 runs. He did walk 1, struck out 3, and gave up a homer. He will make his second start against the Indians. His other one coming back on May 7th in 2012. It was right here at Progressive Field, and he was with the Chicago White Sox. He worked a quality start. The Indians won that game 3-2.
Pitch into as Drupal Cabrera's low ball 1. Cabrera 0 for 4 last night in the series opener. He's been bouncing around the lineup. Swing and a miss to even the count. Ground ball headed up the middle. And Everth Cabrera spins and throws out his Drupal, 1 down.
The key of defense for the Pods. They made a few errors last night as well. It'll be Smith in left, Venable in center, Nady in right. Amarista at third, Cabrera at short. Jerko is at second, Alonso at first, with Hundley behind the plate.
Nick Swisher. Takes low. It's ball one.
Nick with a tough night last night. A couple of errors. An 0 for 4. But you win a ball game, you forget about it, you come back and do something better today.
Now the 1-1. Nice breaking ball over the outside corner, and he gets ahead.
Nice slow breaking ball. That's may not even get a ticket for speeding. That's around 65, 66 miles per hour.
Upstairs with it. Now the 2-2. Swisher in the air to center. Will Venable makes the catch. We've got 2 down here in the first. It's going to bring up Jason Kipnis. Kipnis last night was 0 for 1, but he walked a couple of times, stole a base, had a sac fly. Might be the kind of game that starts to get him going offensively.
Well, he's starting to get closer and closer to that swing that he had working last year where he's staying on the baseball. And I'm going to tell you, I think left-handers help him out in that situation. Between him and Michael Brantley, both of them don't mind facing left-handers, and it keeps you concentrating on hitting the ball the other way.
Pulls that one to first. Yonder Alonso scoops it up, and the Indians go 1-2-3. No score after 1. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Honda dealers, by the Cleveland Clinic. Call today for an appointment today. And by the Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Second inning, the Indians and Padres no score. Jed Jerko will lead off for San Diego. Drove in 3 runs in last night's loss for the Padres. Fouls that first pitch right back. Down low. Well, San Diego, mentioned before, their problems offensively going into the 9th inning. They finally started to get some hits in the 9th inning with guys on base in scoring position, but they were 2 for their first 14 with a runner in scoring position, and they had their leadoff man aboard in the first 4 innings of the game. 2 of those were leadoff doubles.
But when when you're struggling offensively, at least if you give yourself chances, and they gave themselves a lot of chances last night, it'll start coming through. They need to break a bat one time with 2 outs, or just to get it going and take a little pressure off of everybody in the lineup. We see every lineup go through it throughout the course of the year.
Shattered bat and a nice play by Aviles. Aviles stayed focused on the ball while the head of the bat, the barrel, was hurtling towards him at the same time.
Yeah, he vacated that spot. The barrel was flying his way, and that ball ran in, and you can see it just shatters the bat in half. Aviles makes the catch, and the bat ended where he started. That's a double if it gets over his head.
So 1 out for Will Venable. Well, it's a big reason why the Padres, though, have had troubles, though, when you get behind early, and that's what the Indians went through first several games this year. San Diego's been outscored 14-0 in the first 3 innings over the course of their first 7 games.
So again, you say, I'm playing from behind, and they have a team that, it's not a good come-from-behind team because you've got to hit the long ball. They have 4 as a team.
The Indians haven't exactly been lighting it up in the early going.
Well,
but last night they did, and it's a big difference when you're playing from in front.
Well, it is, and it's a big difference when you play in some warm weather, too, if you're a hitter. You go from spring training, you come back to this. This is not easy to play and pitch in. It's just been a tough first week of the season for a lot of teams.
Xavier Nady, he's just happy to be playing in the big leagues. He doesn't care that it's cold. Last year spent the entire season in AAA. Bangs it right back to the mound. McAllister flips it over. And San Diego goes 1-2-3 on just 10 pitches. No score, middle of the second. No score, bottom of the second. Here at Progressive Field, Carlos Santana will lead off for the Tribe. He'll be followed by Ryan Rayburn and then Michael Brantley. Eric Stoltz, left-hander. Stoltz was originally a 15th round pick of the Dodgers back in 2002 out of Bethel College in Indiana. Santana takes a strike. Bethel College in Mishawaka, which is just not far from the University of Notre Dame. Santana cuts and misses, and he's in the hole 1-2. He did not swing the bat well last night and was 0 for 3. Down in the dirt. Stoltz, who grew up in Plymouth, Indiana. When he was drafted by the Dodgers back in 2002, he was at his mom and dad's home in Plymouth, Indiana. As that ball smoked into left center field, a base hit for Santana. And he's aboard to start the bottom half of the second for the Tribe.
Well, he got a little swinging room there with that swing. Watch him extend. Looked like it might have been a little something off speed away, and Carlos put good extension on. He gets a base hit. First hit for the Indians today.
Back in 2002, the draft didn't have the kind of coverage that it has garnered today. But back then you could listen to the draft online. You could at least follow it and see what was going on. But at his parents' old farmhouse, they didn't have a dial-up internet connection. So he said literally we just kind of sat around the house and waited.
Well,
he said it was kind of like being in the dark.
Wait for the phone to ring.
That's exactly what they did. And eventually it was his sister who called, who was watching the draft online elsewhere, and she informed him that he had been drafted by the Dodgers.
Always somebody out there paying attention, isn't it? It doesn't seem like that long ago.
I know.
You know what I mean?
12 years already, though.
Back when I got drafted, they had to send it by Pony Express. We found out about 3 weeks later.
Horse came by in a mailbag.
Draft was June 6th. You found out July 4th.
Stoltz spent 8 years with the Dodgers, and then he was sold to the Hiroshima Carp of the Japanese League. And right at the end of spring training in 2010. Came back the following year as Rayburn skies one to left. Seth Smith fighting the sun. Makes the grab. One away.
That's something we haven't seen here in a while. You see that sun. Brings you back to when we were doing games at Arizona. You say, my goodness, it's if you can catch a fly ball here.
No, there is no cloud cover. Not a cloud to be seen.
Nice
today.
Blue sky. Well, you can follow the Indians with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com.
Here's a look at that clear blue sky.
Beautiful. Love it. I don't care how cold it is. As long as you see that, that's okay.
Well,
we're all right.
Be reasonable.
It's not bad.
Michael Brantley off the end of the bat. That's going to drop. Venable coming hard. Can't get to it. And Santana stops at second base. So a couple of hits here in the second inning for the Tribe.
Perfectly placed. You know, for left-handers, Eric Stoltz, since the start of 2012, he has really been tough on left-handed hitters. They've only been hitting 179 off him. There's only one pitcher better than him in the big leagues. That's Clayton Kershaw, and we know how good he is. But Brantley gets a base knock off the end of the bat, falls in. He gets his hits off everybody.
So 2 on, 1 out for Yan Gomes. Funny, though, how everybody's path to the big leagues can be different. Stoltz told you he 8 years in the Dodgers organization. Then he went to Japan for a year, came back, signed on with the Rockies, spent a year with the White Sox. And the Padres got him off waivers in May of 2012. Pitches outside, ball 1.
That was a little after the start he made here in Cleveland against the Indians. It was earlier in May.
Yeah, in 2012, he only appeared in 2 games that year for the White Sox, and one of them was against the Indians. Two balls, no strikes. Fouled right back. Stoltz, who has a good curveball, credited Dodgers former pitching coach Rick Honeycutt with helping him to develop that breaking ball in the minor leagues when he was first starting out.
Well, his is slow. It's about 65, 66 miles per hour. But then when you're only throwing 85, it's the variance right there is there. It is.
Yep.
You can see how far out in front a hitter can be, and that makes that 85 look that much faster. And you can see where it starts out. It's going to start helmet high, and by the time it ends up, catcher almost has to block it into the dirt. So it has good bite, and you can see how he spins it up there, and Gomes a little bit out in front. It's tough to just sit back and wait on that pitch.
And there's the fastball. And that's something that Stoltz says he's learned along the way. He said, a lot of guys, especially young guys, they only have one speed, hard. Everything
right.
they want to just try to blow it by people. And he said, I've learned that
power.
I've got the fastball when I need it, but I just can't rear back and try to throw it all the time.
He has enough when he needs it. That was 87. But you see where he located it. Inside, he wasn't going to give him swinging room, and he teases him. And if he makes the perfect pitch, he gets the hitter out. You learn. But he walks Gomes as the patience pays off there.
Plus, Rick, if you're up there as a hitter and you see a 65-mile-an-hour slow looping curveball, 87 looks a lot harder then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's all relative. If you're throwing, 95 and you throw a 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball, that 95 looks that much faster.
Yeah. Well, here now is Mike Aviles batting with the bases loaded and 1 out as the Indians try to break through here in the second inning. And Aviles looks at a strike. Goes to that fastball to get a hit.
When you talk about pitching, the art of pitching is to try and keep the ball off the barrel of the bat, no matter how you do it. You keep it off the end or you keep it on the inner part and keep the hitter's timing off balance. That's the art and the key to pitching. I don't care how hard you throw or how slow you throw, you still get outs no matter how you look at it. And he gets one right there if it stays in play.
Alonso makes the catch right up against the railing, and the Indians will now try to get the 2-out hit to get on the board first. Last night, our great clip of the game, courtesy of David Murphy. Big 3-run homer, and Murphy has been tearing it up offensively.
Yes, he has. Last couple of games, he had Sunday's game to get him rolling. He continued it last night. And to get back to that point, I think too many people get caught up into the velocity and the speed of a pitch now as compared to locating and getting outs.
Well, Bud Black, his manager, Padres skipper and former big league pitcher himself, says of Eric Stoltz, quote, I like his demeanor, I like his thought process. You don't have to strike out guys if you give up fewer hits than innings pitched.
Right.
Murphy pulls it on the ground. Alonso flipped it to Stoltz, but did he? No, he didn't make the play. And the Indians score a run here to take the 1-0 lead.
Wait,
that
called
was
him out.
Bizarre. Did he?
Yeah, he just called him out. I don't know if he felt he dropped the ball or not. I stayed with it over there, and the pitcher was arguing.
We called him safe first, didn't he? So the run should count.
He was looking to see if he dropped the ball. See, he doesn't have it. He does have it, and he didn't hit the base. But he held on.
I don't think Murphy ever touched the base.
Murphy did not hit the base. And then maybe Stoltz went back and touched the base. Let's take a look. He's going back. It didn't look like he touched it originally because of the flip. Here comes Murphy. He got him.
Yeah.
He got him. He's out. That's the right call.
And Murphy never touched the base. But did he call him out initially, Rick? I thought he called him safe. And then called him out on the tag.
On. Look, he's looking for him.
He's called him safe.
Yes, he called him safe.
And then he called him out on the tag? I didn't see when he called him out. You said you saw him call him out.
I did see him after that. I think he was out to begin with.
But if he called him safe and then called him out, well, this is going to take some sorting out. As Terry Francona, teams have not taken the field because there may be a challenge here in the offing as Terry Francona looks into the dugout to see. But I think the call ultimately was correct.
I do too.
But it was odd that he was called safe first. I never saw the out call, so we'll try to dig it up when we come back. But the initial play is here, but the initial call is safe. And then he was called out at some point. Now he's called him out. Live ball to deep center field off the bat of Nick Hundley, and Michael Brantley runs it down for out number one. So going back to that play that ended the bottom of the second inning, we're assuming that the first base umpire, Clint Fagan, incorrectly signaled safe, and I'm thinking that's what he was telling Terry Francona.
Probably shouldn't have made a call because it didn't look like Murphy hit the base to be safe. And the pitcher did catch the ball and ended up landing on the bag, and maybe he didn't see it.
Because if he calls him safe,
look at,
which he eventually does, he says safe. If he's safe, then that run should count.
But he made a mistake making the premature call.
Yeah.
I think he got the right call. He shouldn't have signaled safe. He should have waited because Murphy never touched the base.
Alexei Amarista takes a look at the ball down and in. Amarista with a hit last night in the game for San Diego. 1 for 3 in the series. Two and two the count.
Well, much different start for Zach McAllister in his first start out in Oakland. He had a 39-pitch first inning, if you remember, and a 17-second, which totaled 56.
That's a fair ball.
Yes, it is.
And Rayburn plays it off the sidewall, but in with a double is Amarista, so both of San Diego's hits have been doubles. And a runner in scoring position now for Everth Cabrera. He just got on top of that one and slapped it inside the bag.
The little lefties in this lineup are not afraid to go the other way. That pitch was elevated, and he was able to spank it inside the bag at third. That's Amarista's first double. So they get another runner in scoring position with one out.
Now Everth Cabrera. Another guy who will slap it the other way. We saw it last night. He had 3 hits, all 3 doubles. All 3 were balls that he took to the opposite field. Way out in front. Good change of pace by McAllister there, and it's 0-2. That's up high. And we're even now. 2 balls. I beg your pardon, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Cabrera keeps fighting off pitches now. Named to the All-Star team a year ago. Cabrera hit .283. And he strikes out. McAllister with his 3rd punch out of the afternoon. 2 down now in the inning. More on Zach McAllister, who's cruising along so far here today. Here's Katie with him.
Well, Matt, Rick just mentioned in Zach's first start, his pitch count climbed quickly. In his side session this week, the focus was getting him back to being the pitcher he is, efficient and logging innings. For him today, the goal, 3 to 4 pitches per batter to get an out.
Well, I like that. He's spotting his fastball today, but he's throwing some really good changeups and has had hitters off balance. They have 2 hits, both of them doubles, and they were both fastballs up that he didn't get away with. They hit them, but throwing a ball much better.
Up and away, both of them. Where you talk about giving a hitter swinging room, Seth Smith took a pitch up and out over the plate and drove it to left center back in the first inning. Pulls that one to first base. Swisher has it. He'll flip it to McAllister, and the inning is over. No runs a hit. Another man left for San Diego. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Terry Francona was out talking with home plate umpire Brian Onora between innings.
Yeah, I'm trying to get things clarified, I think. And I don't know what he can tell him right there after he made the safe call. He probably should have waited a little longer before he made any call.
It may be a product of instant replay this year, or it may simply be a coincidence. But I was listening to Matt Williams on the radio today, manager of the Washington Nationals. He was saying there's only been one manager ejected so far this year through the first 7, 8, 9 games.
Well, yeah, they don't come out kicking and screaming anymore. You almost have to come out waiting to see if you're going to get a replay or a challenge. That has taken it away because of the camera work.
And the lone manager, and I don't recall who it was that was ejected, it was from arguing balls and strikes from the dugout.
Right.
So what instant replay may do is it may just, and I'm sure we'll see it at some point, but it may have removed the let's go throw a temper tantrum, let's go try to fire my club up. Behind the bag at third, Amarista with a nice glove play that throws in the dirt, and it is dug out nicely by Alonso. Not sure what the run around the bag was for there.
He probably thought it was 3 outs. There's only one. I'll tell you what, there was a nice play on both ends. Amarista goes down, and he gets up and fires his seed, but it one-hops Alonso over there. He makes a nice pick.
Going to take a victory lap now.
There, that's okay. It's well worth it. He got the out.
Now up comes Nick Swisher, who flied to center. But, in the past, a manager might say, hey, my team's dead today. I got to go fire him up.
Right.
And so he'd go out and kick up a dust storm. And then that, you may still see some of that. But I think instant replay, we're starting to see managers with a more maybe judicious approach when they go out to the field. They're not going out there with a full head of steam.
Well, you have to wait and see it. If it's bang, bang, you have that time frame where you have to make a challenge.
2 quick outs. As Swisher flies to right. And up comes Jason Kipnis.
It certainly is different. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a little while for it to settle in, I think.
Kipnis, who grounded out to first his only time up, looks at a ball down low.
The only thing I wish we knew, and I thought at one time we were supposed to, is when they challenge something, what are they challenging?
Big hop to first and a nice play by Alonso and a well-executed flip to first. Indians go 1-2-3, and after 3, no score. No score, fourth inning. Here at Progressive Field for the Padres, it will be Yonder Alonso, Yasmani Grandal, and Jed Jerko. McAllister, 32 pitches through the first 3 innings. His counterpart, Eric Stoltz, is at 40, and he got a quick 1-2-3 inning, which is exactly what he needed. McAllister's given up 2 hits. Both of them have been one-out doubles. Alonso flied to left his only time up back in the first. What did Katie Witham say? One of McAllister's focuses was 3 to 4 pitches per batter.
I like that.
So far today, 2.9 pitches per batter, says Tom Boschenik. And he would know. He's got the calculator.
Yeah, divide what? 33 divided by 3? No, I don't think it's right. You better count on your fingers. He's got his shoes off too.
Is that what that was? He's got Alonso down on the count. Misses up high with a heater. Might have been a changeup, I guess, that just sailed out of the zone. Trying another one here. Got him to reach for it. Well executed as Kipnis throws him out. 1 away. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com. Check out the Game Day Live page and chat about today's games. Find out how a WWE star is inspiring Niger Morgan. And see Sam Amico's take on the Cavs and the latest NBA news. It's all on FoxSportsOhio.com. In there for a strike to Grandal, who struck out his first time up. McAllister appears to be in a pretty good groove. You like to get into a rhythm. You hear starting pitchers say that all the time. You know, I get into a good rhythm.
Well, he came right out of the chute today, throwing strikes, and he's continued to pound the strike zone. Out of his 41 pitches, 30 have been strikes. Or out of his 40 pitches, 30 have been strikes. So, you know, he's right on.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might have went around. No, says third base umpire John Tumpane. Let's see if he caught a break here. I think he did.
Well,
I think he caught a break.
You know what? We've seen it called for less.
The 1-2. That's in the air to center. Michael Brantley is there. 2 down. Time now to tweet your photo using hashtag IndiansFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in our game later in the afternoon. It's all brought to you by AT&T. 2 gone now for Jed Jerko. Jerko broke his bat and hit a soft liner to third. Now he lifts one in the air to right. David Murphy on the move. And McAllister once again cruises through the inning. This time just 10 pitches to retire the side. 1-2-3.
Keep progressive fielding Cleveland strong by voting yes on issue 7. Vote yes. Will help protect sports facilities and critical county and city services with no increase in taxes. Obtain a vote form at clevelandstrong.org.
Bottom of the 4th, no score. The Indians had an opportunity. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 2nd inning. But the rally fizzled. Carlos Santana, Ryan Rayburn, Michael Brantley. And Eric Stoltz goes back to work with a strike. Way out in front. And a count 0-2.
That was the pitch that Santana got a base hit on last time, but he located that changeup much better and kept it away. So for Stoltz really to be effective, he has to pitch inside as well, use that inner part of the plate, at least make hitters think that he can throw in there and throw strikes.
Back to even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat, slowly chopped to short, and Cabrera throws him out. 1 away. Today's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Michael Bourne, Jason Giambi both continue to work their way back from the disabled list. Bourne had the hamstring injury. Giambi was hit by a pitch in spring training and suffered that rib fracture. Bourne played 7 innings last night in Columbus. Giambi's been able to take some batting practice here with the Tribe. Ryan Rayburn flied to left. His only time up. Looks at a strike, and it's 1-1. Stoltz with that fastball, straighten him up. Whether or not he's able to throw it for strikes, it's a matter of being able to throw it where he wants to when he has to use it. So if it's a show pitch inside off the plate, he's got to make sure it's off the plate inside. A lot of times he'll use it just for effect, and then occasionally he'll lull you to sleep. Rayburn fouls it back. Then every once in a while he gives you one like that where it looks pretty good. You're looking for that slow pitch so often it gets on you in a hurry.
Well, that's the one he wanted to hit. 3-1 count there. Nice
approach. Punches one into right field on a 1-out base hit here in the 4th.
He gives in there. That's an excellent pitch there by Stoltz, but that's even a better piece of hitting by Rayburn, who did not try to pull that pitch. He stayed on it and took exactly what the pitcher gives you. Take that base hit. He had the 3-1 pitch that he fouled off that he wanted to do something with. That time, nice swing to get a base hit.
Michael Brantley, base hit his first time up. And ball in the dirt, 1-0. Brantley with 10 hits in 29 at-bats so far this year. right back to the mound. Stultz to second, there's one. On to first, an inning-ending double play. 4 complete, no score. Ball is brought to you by Sunnyside Honda. Sunny will save you money. By Levin Furniture. And by Kia. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. Fifth inning, Padres and Indians, no score. For San Diego, Will Venable, Xavier Nady, and Nick Hundley do up. Zach McAllister for the Indians cruising right along. He's at 43 pitches on the afternoon.
Yeah, and that second time through the lineup to get the 5 outs, he's thrown 18 pitches and 14 strikes.
Venable bounced to second base his only time up back in the second inning. Up and away, 2 balls, no strikes. McAllister, his first outing in Oakland, went 4 innings, tagged for 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 4 in that game, and then had the 4 strikeouts. Shattered bat, barrel went by McAllister, ball goes foul down the left side.
Second time we've seen a bat explode like that.
That one looked like it split in half, didn't it?
So did the other one, yeah, where the barrel went out to Aviles. It did. It split right down the middle. Look at that. Talk about a splinter.
New piece of lumber for Will Venable. 2-1 count. And now we're even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. He got him. Well placed fastball that time by McAllister. 4th strikeout of the afternoon. Let's go downstairs and check in with Katie Witham. She's got more on the status of Jason Giambi.
Well, Matt, yesterday was just the second time this season Jason Giambi was able to get outside to continue doing his rehab activities. Afterwards, he told me his biggest concern being able to have his hitting velocity back up. He said, as a pinch hitter, I not only have to get hot, but I've got to sit down for 3 innings and then get up and get ready to hit again. So he has to be able to do that pain-free. He can't come off the DL, Matt, though, until April 15th.
All right, so he'll continue to work at it. Obviously, bat speed is important for Giambi, and that's something that was so impressive a year ago when we watched him play. At his age and the limited playing time that he has, he still has great bat speed.
Well, for Jason not getting a spring training, not getting at bats, you have to see some pitches. I would have to think he's got to go out somewhere to at least see some live pitching.
Jason Kipnis flips it over, and Xavier Nady is retired, 2 down. Time now for a Mazda game break. Back to the studios. Here's Al Pawlowski.
The bottom of the 10th with the runner on first. That was Sean Figgins. Carl Crawford to left. He gets by Rajay Davis. And coming all the way around to score the game-winning run is Figgins. That's how the Dodgers beat the Tigers last night in L.A. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Al. Nick Hundley flied to center when he led off the 3rd inning. You've got 3 catchers on the roster. Playing time gets a little crowded. And for Nick Hundley, he said, my job is to play when I'm in there. My job isn't to ask about playing time. And he said, that's just not the way I operate. So when my name's in the lineup, I show up and get ready to go.
Not many teams carry 3 catchers.
No.
I don't know if anybody does in the American League.
That ball's clubbed to deep center. Brantley back, and it's over his head. It'll one-hop the wall. And Nick Hundley strolls into second base. He's 4 for 8 now on the year.
Doubles are us. That's their 3rd double, down to their 3 hits, and that one was smoked right off the bat. I watched Brantley try and get a run. That's right at you, and you think, okay, I'm going to get a jump on it. But, boy, that ball got over his head in a hurry. He smoked it. Nothing you could do as an outfielder there except go retrieve it at the wall.
In addition to Hundley, he has Manny Grandal and Rene Rivera, the other catchers on this Padres roster. Now Alexei Amarista, who doubled back in the 3rd inning. And McAllister ties him up. Amarista doubled inside the bag at 3rd. And the 3rd inning, and Mike Aviles, he's not hugging the line, but he's definitely playing over toward the bag at 3rd. That hit he had back in the 3rd inning, if Mike had been playing on the line, was about the only shot he'd have had at making a play. That's how close the ball was. Right now, McAllister's looking perhaps for another strikeout. Somehow he dug it out.
Yeah, I'll say.
And David Murphy will make the catch. That was a pretty good piece of getting the bat on the ball, but all for naught for Amarista and the Padres. Still no score, middle of the 5th. Mickey Callaway talking with Zach McAllister. McAllister's clipping right along here. Padres do have 3 hits, and all 3 of those hits have been doubles in the ball game.
Yep, the Indians have 3 hits, and all of their 3 have been singles.
For the Tribe here in the 5th, it will be the bottom third of the order. Yan Gomes, Mike Aviles, and David Murphy coming up. Gomes walked to load the bases back in the 2nd inning. But Mike Aviles fouled out, and David Murphy grounded out to end the inning, and that was a bit of a controversial call at first base to end that 2nd inning. The initial call of first base umpire Clint Fagan was that Murphy was safe, and then after about a 5-second pause, he called him out.
I think he did get the call right, though.
It did look like the call was correct. It just was an odd way of getting there. Terry Francona came out and wanted an explanation, and while he did that, they looked at the replay, and then I'm sure they signaled to him, don't bother with the challenge because you're not going to win. But more than anything, Francona might have just wanted an explanation. Well, you called him safe.
I think that's right. Well, because Murphy never, ever hit the bag.
No, he did not.
And, I mean, by the time that was a heck of a play by pitcher Eric Stoltz to catch the ball and even land on the bag. And he came up to argue that, hey, I touched him. And, you know, he did get it right. Why he called him safe, I don't know.
Bounced in front of the plate. 2-2 count for Yan Gomes. High fly ball to right field. Nady puts it away, 1 down.
Well, get access to the best seats at the best prices for all 2014 games by becoming an Indian season ticket holder. You receive the lowest prices and access to Tribe Rewards. Log on to Indians.com/season tickets today.
Mike Aviles pops one up foul, and that one gets out of play. He'd much rather have had that happen back in the 2nd inning when he popped one up foul and it stayed in play and enabled Yonder Alonso to make a catch for a key out there. And a routine fly ball for Xavier Nady in right field, 2 gone. So Eric Stoltz, much like Zach McAllister, just cruising right along here. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. David Murphy for the Indians off to a pretty good start. And he loves hitting here at Progressive Field. A .375 career mark in 25 games. 20 runs batted in, and he scored 16 times. Slow curve. Rolled to first, and the Indians go in a hurry. 5 in the books from Progressive Field. Still no score. Sixth inning, no score. Top of the order for San Diego coming up. It's rather cliche to say it's a pitcher's duel when there's no score, but both pitchers have thrown the ball extremely well.
Yes.
McAllister's probably been a little bit sharper than Stoltz, who did have a bases-loaded jam he had to get out of. But other than that, Stoltz has been very good, too. He's changed speeds effectively.
These two guys, they've been dealing.
Everth Cabrera has struck out both times against McAllister here today. And that's right back to the screen. Of the 60 pitches McAllister has thrown here today, 44 of them have been strikes. Out of play, 1-2.
The 8th time today he's had an 0-2 or a 1-2 count. That's how you pitch.
Yeah.
That's how Mickey Callaway says, hey, I love it. You go in there, you have no problems or issues. Even if you get hit, I mean, you're there. That's what you're doing. Throwing strikes. The defense loves it.
Swung on and missed. He got a piece of it, but right into the glove of Gomes for his 5th strikeout of the day. That's 5 from McAllister, but 3 have come at the expense of Everth Cabrera. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Zach McAllister has given up 3 hits. He's fanned 4, and Eric Stoltz, just like Bud Black said, doesn't matter if you strike anybody out.
Overrated.
It's about giving up fewer hits than innings pitched. So Stoltz has been just as good as advertised. 2 quick outs as McAllister continues to clip along here. Yonder Alonso coming up. He has flied out, grounded out. Alonso 1 out of 7 so far in the series. Missed outside 2-0. It's interesting, Rick. I know it's only 9. I think maybe a team's played 10 games, but roughly between 7 and 9 games have been played by everybody in baseball, and everything's bunched up already. Every division, top to bottom, there's not more than a game and a half, 2 games at most. Other than the NL West, where Arizona is off to a dreadful start. They've lost 8 out of 10, so they're 5 games out. Every other division, I don't know if it has anything to do with teams of, more closely bunched together in terms of overall competition and the caliber of play, or if it's just first 10 games of the season.
Just out of the chute. Yeah, the starting gun went off, and everybody's sort of like in this marathon, just sort of settling into the pack.
Yeah.
I don't think
nobody's out to a real hot start, though.
What was it? Detroit went the longest as being undefeated at 4-0, right before their first loss. So yeah, they're just jockeying for position.
10 pitches, all Zach McAllister needed to set down the Padres 1-2-3, still scoreless in Cleveland. Eric Stoltz has not punched a batter out, but he has retired 9 on the ground, 6 through the air.
That's what you call keeping him off balance. Taking it off the good part of the bat. He's done just that. The Indians with 3 hits, all singles. They've been able to turn a double play.
In there for a strike. Slow curve, swung on and missed.
That's when you almost don't want to swing at unless you have to. In a 1-1 count, it looks so tantalizing because you see it coming up there, then all of a sudden it just never gets there. But he picks his spots when he throws it. Remember, that was a 1-1 count. Then he's going to throw one a little different to see if he can get him to chase it out of the zone.
High fly ball, left field. Seth Smith makes the catch. As promised earlier, here's the AT&T fan photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag Indians fan photo for a chance to be shown in our telecast. Brought to you by AT&T. Nick Swisher is 0 for 2 today, 0 for 6 in the series. He has flied out twice this afternoon, and he takes ball 1. And that's foul at the third base side. And the 1-1 way up high. Letter high, but just out of the strike zone, and now Swisher in a good spot. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1. And a strike is called.
Good pitch, but you know, as a hitter there, you don't want to swing at it. That's a perfect pitch for Stoltz in that count.
Payoff pitch, fouled away.
Well, he's certainly staying out of the middle of the plate. He is on the edges.
Ripped foul again down the third base side. In the air, right side, that's going to slice out of play. Eric Stoltz, I mentioned before, out of Bethel College in Indiana. Not a bad succession of big league pitchers for tiny Bethel College when you figure Stoltz was there in 2002 and then drafted to the big leagues. And shortly thereafter, 2 years later, Justin Masterson shows up at Bethel. Chopped third. Over the bag, it's fair. Amarista's throw is in the dirt. This time Alonso can't cut it out. It goes into the seats, and Swisher will go to second base.
Well, he was able to help him out earlier. Alonso made a nice pick when it came over there off Cabrera. But now with Swisher, this ball gets by and goes into the camera bay. So that's got to be an error. Went right over the bag. Here's
well, he had
the throw.
time to set, too.
Well, yeah, it's just didn't get it there. So that'll be an error. That's the third for the Padres in this series.
You know, sometimes you've got that long throw where you don't really have a lot of time to get your feet set. But Amarista just chucked it in the dirt. And another opportunity for the Indians here. Jason Kipnis 0 for 2. High fly ball, deep center field. Venable back on the track at the wall. It is gone! And the Indians have a 2-0 lead. Jason Kipnis, his first home run of the year. And the Tribe is on top 2-0. A towering fly ball that just kept carrying to deep center field. Venable leaped in vain at the wall, but it was just beyond his reach.
That ball carried a long way. You know, he must have hit that perfectly and had that top spin that really carried. That was a fastball mistake. One of the only mistakes Eric Stoltz has made today, and you can see it just gets over the glove. That's just above the yellow line.
Venable was looking in his glove as though maybe he caught it. He didn't realize, though,
it felt like he caught it.
It was the fence that he ran into that jarred his glove loose. And the ball was just beyond his reach.
I mean, it was awfully close. He gets there. If he would have had a half a step more where he could have planted and then gets up. See, he jumps and then jumps into the wall. It sort of jammed him. You know, so you have to get there maybe a step quicker and jump up. But with the big, bright sun, Kipnis says, thank you. I want home run number 1. The Indians have a 2-0 lead.
Well, remember, too, Rick, it might have been Sunday. Kipnis hammered one to right center field.
Yeah.
And it died on the warning track out there.
Right.
Well, some days you hit him right dead into the wind and can't cut through it. That one had enough, and it gives the Indians a 2-0 lead. Santana takes his walk, and that's the second walk today issued by Eric Stoltz, first since the second inning. And Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, going to go out for a chat.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, the Indians will be in the Windy City to take on the White Sox. And Indians Live kicks our coverage off at 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll have the first pitch at 8 right here on Sports Time Ohio. Ryan Rayburn, base hit his last time up. That home run by Jason Kipnis, the Indians' 6th on the year. Tom Bochenek tells us 4 of the 6 home runs hit by the Indians have either tied the game or given them the lead. Ripped down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Headed down into the corner. Coming into third is Santana. And they're going to hold him right there. A double for Ryan Rayburn. He's 2 for 3. And the Indians starting to zero in on Eric Stoltz here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, they're on the 3rd time through the lineup now. They have 2 hits and then the walk, but it was that error that sort of jump-started this inning. Rayburn had a nice hit the time before, went to right field. This time he pulls the ball, tried to come inside on him. Santana gets to third base, so now it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out and a chance to add to that 2-0 lead.
So Michael Brantley, who singled in the 2nd, And then banged into a double play in the fourth as the batter, already 6 runs batted in on the year, looking for more. And Stoltz misses up high, ball 1. Called a strike on the breaking ball. Carlos Santana, the runner at third base. Ryan Rayburn is at second. The infield for the Padres, they're at the cut of the grass all the way around the horn, as you see. Outfield, normal depth. Shading Brantley a bit toward right. 2-1 to count. This is a key moment in the ball game. The Indians have grabbed the lead and now a chance to really open up a lead. And a strike is called to even it up at 2-2. Hundley wants to go out and talk it over. The infield will join the conference at the mound. Brantley has done a terrific job for the Indians in these types of clutch situations. He was their best hitter last year with runners in scoring position. Right-hander and lefty up. Stoltz closing in on 90 pitches for the afternoon. And the 2-2. Outside on a full count. With 1 out here in the 6th inning, and the Indians on top 2-0. Michael Brantley awaiting a 3-2 pitch. Right-handed hitting Yan Gomes waits on deck. And the payoff pitch. Slow breaking ball, and he got him. That's the first strikeout of the day. But Stoltz, when he needed it most, he got it.
Boy, oh boy, great pitch. He came with the changeup to Brantley, and, you know, Michael worked the count full, but he never gave in. And you're right, when he needed it, he got it. A big strikeout in his afternoon will be over. So
today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen, Bud Black. I would imagine he's going for the right-hander, Nick Vincent. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Indians with a 2-0 lead. They've got second and third and 2 down here in the inning. Last night, San Diego miscues cost them dearly. A routine play at first wasn't made. The result, 3-run homer. Today, same kind of deal. Pretty much a routine play here for the third baseman, Amarista.
Yeah,
but the throw's in the dirt.
Would have been 2 outs.
And the result, a 2-run homer.
Yesterday it happened in the 4th inning. Today it's the 6th inning, and it's the first time anybody's been on the board. So Kipnis, his first home run. Now Nick Vincent comes on in the ball game for the 5th time. Trying to get out of this inning, keep it a 2-0 game, as he's going to have to face Yan Gomes.
Down low, ball 1. Yan Gomes drew that walk in the 2nd inning, fly to right in the 5th. Chance to open up the Tribe lead here. They're on the board first today with a 2-run homer here in the 6th by Jason Kipnis. One ball, one strike, Nick Vincent. Getting the first call out of that San Diego bullpen today. And, you know, when you've got a doubleheader, managers have got to really judiciously use that bullpen. Fastball fouled back, and if you're Terry Francona, you're thinking, not only do we have 2 today, but we've got another game tomorrow night. I mean, you're going into a series against Chicago where you're playing 4 games in 4 days. So the cumulative effect of all those moves that you make. Bud Black in a similar situation with the Padres, though I think they're going home for an off day.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. They'll be hosting the Tigers this weekend. Right back over the screen. Bottom of the 6th, and the Indians on top 2-0. The Indians had bases loaded, 1 out in the 2nd, did not score. Got the 2-run homer here in the 6th from Kipnis. But then 2nd and 3rd was still only 1 out. The strikeout by Brantley. Now Gomes in a 1-2 count. And that one just missed. 2-2.
I thought he was going to ring him up later. It looked like it came in that front door. See, they sit inside, and there it is, and it just stayed in there. It was close. Teaser.
The 2-2. Fouled back. I tell you what, after seeing Dale Thayer last night and now Nick Vincent here this afternoon, these Padres relief pitchers take a back seat to no one in the facial hair department. Thayer had the Goose Gossage look going last night, and now that is quite a goatee. Does that still count as a goatee?
Yeah. Yeah. Eric the Red.
2-2 in the dirt and a full count. Good at bat here for Gomes. He's really worked it. Mike Aviles waits on deck as Bud Black checks the action from the San Diego dugout. There hasn't been a lot of offensive action for his club. He's really leaning heavily on that pitching staff to keep them in each and every game here in the early going this year. This game could swing one way or the other based on the outcome of this pitch. Struck him out. Gets out of the jam, but the Indians get on the board first. Jason Kipnis with his first home run of the season stakes the Indians to a 2-0 lead. Sun-splashed afternoon here in Cleveland as you check it out from our Panini's Overstuffed cam. Game top temperature right at 40 degrees, and that light breeze has picked up a little bit, so it's fairly cool down here at the ball yard today. That wind coming off Lake Erie. Oh, that guy in the bottom of our screen, he could be in the Padres bullpen. Look at that beard. It's a solid look right there, huh? That's like Brian Wilson checking out the action.
Yeah, except he's touring with ZZ Top. He's not playing baseball this summer.
Zach McAllister has been very good here today. Man, he pumps over another strike, and that's been his calling card. 51 out of 69 pitchers strikes.
Well, yeah, that was pitch number 70 for him. So he's going into that seventh inning. You talk about efficient, he's done that. Terry Francona, Mickey Callaway got to be thrilled. And McAllister himself. He's done very good to this point, man. He's done outstanding.
Upstairs. Well, Mickey said, look, our starting pitchers they'll start throwing strikes. We'll get back to what our calling card has been, and true to his word, Kluber did it last night. McAllister's followed suit here this afternoon. Hit pretty well to left. Rayburn is back on that track, and he pulls it down in front of the wall for out number one. Grandal gave it a ride, but comes up short.
Well, for McAllister today, you have to love what he's been doing. It's going to be our McDonald's. I am loving it. And him throwing strikes. He has 5 strikeouts and has made it look easy today. A combination of a good spotted fastball, a nice changeup mix, and his defense behind him has been on their toes. Hasn't walked anybody.
Jed Jerko has lined out, flied out. And just like that, it's 3-0. Belt high strike. Came with a fastball. And a 3-1 count. Hit in the air to center field. Brantley got a great jump on that ball, ran it down easily, 2 away. Once again, we go back to the studios for a Mazda game break with Al Pulaski. Will Venable for 2 on the afternoon. Has grounded out, struck out. And that's back out of play. Count quickly, 0-2.
It's the 10th 0-2, 1-2 count for McAllister. And, you know, when you pitch ahead in the count, that's why they're 0 for 9. He's been able to control that. 80 pitches, 58 strikes. Fun to watch. Kluber did the same thing last night when he had his 8 punch outs and no walks.
You know, the last time he threw that 0-2 changeup and it went up and away like that, Gomes said, throw it again. And he came back and threw it for a strike and got the strikeout. Let's see if he does try it again.
No, it went fastball. Said, no, I'll take it right there.
The Express locks him up. Half dozen strikeouts for Zach McAllister. Padres go 1-2-3. He's set down 7 in a row, and the Indians lead it 2-0. Time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. The Indians with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 7th here at Progressive Field. Mike Aviles, David Murphy, and then Asdrubal Cabrera. In for a strike. Nick Vincent got the final out of the 6th inning, stays on here in the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doubleheader today here at Progressive Field. Game 1 between the Indians and the San Diego Padres. We'll have about a 20-minute break between games. Then we'll have Game 2 for you right here on Sports Time Ohio. Tribe hits the road after that, off to Chicago. But the Akron Rubber Ducks will have their opener tomorrow at Canal Park. Dave Wallace and the gang, they're all ready to go. New logo, new uniforms, new look. 1-2 pitch. I was also reading, Rick, they've got a new menu item at Canal Park. It's the Pineapple Terry Akron Bowl. It's half of a pineapple. They hollowed it out.
Okay.
And they stuff it with a stir fry of grilled chicken, white rice, and diced pineapple.
Nice. Let's go try it.
Down the right side out of
Sounds
play.
good.
It's a lot of food, but it looks pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
No, you and I will be in Chicago. Maybe we'll sample the new White Sox sundae.
What is that? They have a new one?
Yeah. It's pretty decadent. Give me a moment to dig it out.
No, that's okay. Oh, you've already been doing your homework for desserts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, maybe we'll have to check out the new Mastros or Gibsons.
2-2 pitch, and Aviles fights it off. Oh, this is just a teaser. When we get there, we'll have to maybe Katie can go and actually get some video so we can show the few fans back home. The new White Sox sundae is served in a full-size batting helmet.
Oh,
it's
God.
3 pounds of ice cream, 12 scoops. That'll run you $17.
We better wait till summer hits before we'll be freezing.
I think it's meant for sharing, but
well,
2-2. Line right back up the middle. Nice backhanded stop by Jerko. Gets up and throws him out. 1 away. But that's the problem with these.
3 pounds.
Meant for sharing, but there's always some clown that says, oh, no, I'm going to eat that whole thing
the
myself.
Boomstick out in Texas, remember? Yep. And they're doing something like that in Arizona
They've
now.
got a new lineup of goodies in Texas, too, this year.
Oh, boy.
The Chewmongus is their new sandwich.
You're kidding me.
In honor of Shin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, right.
Well, while we talk about food, we got a pitching change here. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out, bases empty. Tribe on top, 2-0. Left-hander coming on for San Diego. Two 2-0 Tribe on top. Indians batting bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Bases empty. David Murphy will be the batter, and he'll be facing left-hander Alex Torres, who comes out of the San Diego bullpen. Torres' 5th appearance on the year. Native of Venezuela. Came up with the Angels organization. Spent time with Tampa Bay, and now a member of the Padres here in 2014.
Pitched in 39 games for the Rays last year.
Grounded towards second base. Jerko will throw out Murphy, 2 down.
Well, families this year can save with the KeyBank Kids Value Tickets. A ticket gets your kid $15 of loaded value for use on concessions or merchandise. Log on to Indians.com/kidsvalue today.
Yeah, I mentioned, Rick, that Torres came up with the Angels. He went to the Rays in the Scott Kazmir trade back in 2009.
Left-hander that pitches from the extreme side of the third base part of the rubber.
Spiked that breaking ball in the dirt. We're going to Chicago, and I mentioned the White Sox, and reminds me that Torres worked with Wilson Alvarez a couple of years ago in the offseason, and both of them are from Venezuela. And Wilson Alvarez, remember, he was a very good left-handed pitcher for a while there with the White Sox back in the early to mid-90s. Off the glove of Torres. He recovers, fires it, and still got him. So the Indians go 1-2-3, and we go to the 8th. Cleveland 2, San Diego nothing. The Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, she's got it rocking. I don't know what the colors there are, though. It's a kangaroo with a K.
Yeah.
It's solid. I mean,
the hat looks warm. But boy, if you're
out
out there,
even though it's matches too,
and it looks nice out there today, you certainly want to be in the sunshine.
Well, if you notice the club section of seats, which is on the first base side of the ballpark, all the people sitting in the club section, they're all in the sun.
Yeah,
there's a few stragglers in the shade, but they've all scrunched down to wherever the sunlight is. That's that middle deck right there. Everybody's...
Yeah, you follow the sun.
Out of play to the right. Xavier Nady, Nick Hundley, Alexei Amarista. Nady, who spent all of last year in the minor leagues. He signed with the Royals going into last year. Spent most of the year at AAA Omaha and did well, but there was no room for him. Kansas City got a pretty good ball club now, and especially that outfield of the Royals.
Yeah, tough to break into.
He wound up last year at AAA Colorado Springs with the Rockies. But again, even though he played well, did not earn a call-up. And he just wasn't ready to call it a career yet. So he signs on with San Diego. And his first hit of the year results in a home run. Swing and a miss. He goes fishing. And McAllister has his 7th strikeout.
Well, Oral Hershiser bobblehead night set for Saturday, May 3rd. The Indians will take on the Chicago White Sox, and the first 10,000 fans will receive the pitcher's bobblehead. That's one of 5 bobblehead giveaways this year. It's courtesy of Meritech. Visit Indians.com for your details.
Bud Black came out to talk with home plate umpire Brian Onora. I'm assuming he was contesting that they got a piece of that ball and that it got into the dirt. Take another look.
No, it looked like he missed it by a bit.
Even if he did, the
3 or 4 inches.
Ball never hit the dirt anyway. It's a nice backhanded stab by Yan Gomes. Hundley struck out Nick Hundley doubled his last time up in the 5th. He's 1 out of 2 in the afternoon. Out of play. 12 times now, McAllister has had a Padre hitter down on the count 0-2 or 1-2. And in the previous 11, they're 0 for 11. Popped him straight up. McAllister might have the best play on it, but he's going to get out of the way, and Aviles comes charging in to make the grab. 2 down.
He's telling Swisher, hey, I could have caught that ball. But they say pitchers get out of the way, and Aviles comes in to make the catch. But the way it was looking, the sun's straight up there. He's looking into the sun. He's got his glove. He wanted to make sure. Now all of a sudden he hears Aviles calling for it, so he will get out of the way and give way for out number 2.
And with 2 down, here is Alexei Amarista, who doubled in the 3rd. Flying to right his last time up. San Diego has 3 hits in the game, all 3 of them doubles. One on the 1st, 1 on the 3rd, 1 on the 5th. That's been it. They have not had a base runner other than that. Shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 1-1. $20 out of 27 first pitch strikes for McAllister. He has just been very efficient. That's the words of Katie Witham, who joined us earlier and said that was McAllister's goal today. Wanted to be more efficient, attacking hitters, trying to get him out on 3 or 4 pitches, and he has been right on that today.
Well, he's only needed to this point now 24 pitches to get the 3rd out of any inning. So he's been efficient there. Once he's gotten 2 outs, let's go. Get me in the dugout. Get my team back in the dugout.
Right back up the middle, and Cabrera can't get to it. So Amarista keeps the inning alive with a 2-out bouncing ball single. Cody Allen loosening for the Indians. Mickey Callaway is going to come out for a chat. Top of the order, Everett Cabrera is going to be the hitter. Stay tuned after the ball game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It comes your way right after the game. And again, we've got about a 20-minute break at the conclusion of this game before Game 2. And we'll have that for you as well right here on Sports Time Ohio, so keep it locked in here. And we've got you covered for both games of this traditional doubleheader. Indians, when they had that doubleheader against Oakland, was the earliest doubleheader in the history of baseball.
Yeah, on the, what was it, the 2nd of April. And here it is, April 9th, and this will be our second one already, which is strange.
McAllister fires, and it's a little bit low, ball one.
But the way the schedule's set up now, when you only play outside of your division teams one time, you have to make it up ASAP. I mean, because then you'll be looking for mutual off days to fly in during the course of the summer, and it really makes for tough travel.
Fouled back. Well, just look back to 07 when the Indians had that 4-game series wiped out. And it took the entire season to make that series up because they would come in on off days here and there. And the last game had to be made up in Seattle.
Yeah, and we were the home team.
So that was
very strange and weird.
You're right, though. It's challenging with the nature of the schedule now. 1-1 pitch. Ripped to left. And a one-hop seed hit by Cabrera. So now there are 2 on with 2 out. Left-handed hitting Seth Smith will be the batter. And here comes Terry Francona. So Zach McAllister, his day over after 7 2/3 innings of 5-hit shutout baseball. He gave his manager and his teammates exactly what they were looking for here this afternoon. And now we'll see if Cody Allen and the rest of the bullpen can bring it home. He goes off to a rousing ovation. We've got a timeout with Cleveland leading it 2-0. To offering. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Swung out and missed. He got a piece of it, but right into the glove of Gomes.
So no, I'll take it right there.
The Express. Sounds of the game brought to you by Hear Right Audiology. And Zach McAllister, very sharp here this afternoon. Talking with Justin Masterson and Corey Kluber about his outing here today.
Well, they bounced back. You know, last night Kluber, he ended up going 6 innings, and now McAllister goes his 7 2/3. So, you know, that second time around makes a difference. No walks for both of those guys coming up into the first 2 games of this series. And McAllister had 7 punch-outs last night. Kluber had 8. So 15 punch-outs and no walks between the two of them. Very good.
All right, so here we go. Cody Allen on for the 5th time this year. He's punched out 6 batters in 3 1/3 innings, and he'll be facing Seth Smith, who has good power, left-handed slugger. Cody Allen faced 2 batters last night, struck them both out in the 8th inning. Popped him up, foul, back out of play.
Smith being very aggressive today in his 3 at-bats. He's swung at the first pitch every time. That's the 5th pitch he's seen coming into the 4th at-bat.
Shift on for the Indians. 3 on the right side of the infield. Waved at the off-speed pitch. It's 0-2. And when Cody Allen has that good yellow hammer, as you like to call it earlier, it makes him virtually unhittable.
Well, he came on last night and had a very good curveball, and when he's got them both working, he's tough, really tough.
Two on, 2 out, 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking. Padres strand 2 more. Cody Allen lights out here in the 8th. Zach McAllister, a tremendous start. Cody Allen, Zach McAllister, all smiles in the Tribe dugout. Mickey Callaway pleased as well with the performance of both. Meanwhile, the Indians go back to work offensively. It's only a 2-0 game. And Nick Swisher, Jason Kipnis, Carlos Santana due up here as John Axford begins to loosen for the Indians in the bullpen. Axford came on to get the last out in last night's game. And Terry Francona was confident he could use him again today because he said, he didn't really throw that many pitches last night. But again, there's a delicate balance to.
Well, when you have enough guys out there, you're right. Can he come in? Maybe let's say he comes in this game, he saves it and throws 15 pitches. Will he be eligible the second game if the save presents itself? You just wait and see. You got to see how it feels after every outing. And then if not, we'll find somebody that can. Just give us the opportunity.
Swisher, a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down low. I mentioned right at the very top of our telecast, but if you joined us late, the Indians sent out Vinny Pastano after last night's game, and CC Lee has been called up, so he's the new man in the bullpen. And the 26th man, the extra player added for the Tribe, is Game 2 starter Trevor Bauer. Down low, full count. Strike 3 call on the breaking ball. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Back in the 6th inning. The San Diego error had a man on base, and Jason Kipnis drove one just beyond the reach of Will Venable, the center fielder, for his first home run of the year, accounting for the only runs of this game. Slowly tap. And Torres tags Kipnis out. 2 down. In-game box score brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Remember last night it was the 7, 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Today it's the middle guys who've accounted for all the offensive action. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. As long as you get it. Some kind of action.
Mm-hmm. Carlos Santana, a single and a walk. He is also grounded out. They're underway in Kansas City, where the Royals host Tampa Bay. No score there in the first inning. Most of your action will be later on this evening around the major leagues. Minnesota is also in action. They're at home today against Oakland. A's lead that game 4-1 over the Twins. They're in the 3rd. Here 2-0 Cleveland with 2 down in the bottom of the 8th, and Santana looks it's outside. 2-1. Alex Torres has thrown 16 pitches, 8 balls, 8 strikes. Another ball that Hundley didn't handle cleanly, and 3-1 to count. If Santana gets aboard, the man behind him there, Ryan Rayburn, would be next. And he will get a chance to hit. Santana walking for the 2nd time today. We invite you to stay tuned after the ballgame for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Santana now with 11 walks on the year, leads the American League in free passes. So even though he's been a little hit or miss in terms of swinging the bat, he's been getting himself on base. And now out to the mound goes Hundley to talk with Torres. Rayburn singled in the 4th, and then he roped a double to left field in the 6th. San Diego Padres, you looking at their uniforms and you think about how many times they've sort of reinvented their image, their logo.
Their colors, their, Well, a number of times you see them when they're playing at home with the camouflage jersey and hats on. A lot.
Yeah. Well, both you and I had a chance to visit before the game with Dick Enberg, longtime legendary announcer at the network level, now the voice of the Padres on TV, and he's made San Diego his home for many, many years. And he said that a lot of people still think of San Diego as a sleepy little Navy town, with the naval base there. But he said the fans there are very passionate about the team. 2-1 pitch, up and away, 3-1 to count.
Well, I remember when they used to be in Yuma, Arizona as their spring training site. And, we would go there once every spring when we were in Tucson. And it seems like on the weekend every year those people would be up from San Diego, cheering on their Padres. And you're out in the middle of the desert. And I mean out in the middle of it.
He says they're very provincial. They believe in the Padres, and that's all they believe in. It's not like, maybe in L.A. where you might be a Dodgers fan, you might be an Angels fan. In San Diego, they're Padre fans. They're Chargers fans. Their loyalties don't lie outside the boundaries of where they live. I still love those old unis, though, when Dave Winfield and the
gold and
brown.
McDonald's. Cheeseburgers.
Runner goes on the 3-2 pitch, and Rayburn strikes out. So we'll go to the 9th here in Cleveland. John Axford will try to remain perfect on the year. He's going for his 4th save in as many tries when we come back. Two 2-0 Indians as we go to the 9th inning here at Progressive Field, and a time now to check our Wendy's slow-mo cam as you get a look at that nasty breaking ball from Cody Allen.
Yeah, a couple of good ones. That's the only pitch that Smith took all day long in his 4 at-bats, and it was a called third and a dandy.
John Axford now looking to stay perfect on the year, going for his 4th save and 4 tries. Got the save last night, though. It was one of those deals where probably didn't anticipate getting into the game.
Right.
However, his number was called, and he was up to the challenge and got the job done. Some defensive changes now for the Indians in the outfield to tell you about. Michael Brantley moves over to left field, started the game in center, and now Nigel Morgan comes in defensively in center field. Yonder Alonso will lead it off. 0 for 3 on the day. In for a strike. 1-1 to count. Strike is called, and 1-2. Music has become such a big part in all of the new ballparks. Every hitter has his own walk-up song. Relief pitchers have their entrance music. John Axford put his theme song music up to the fans' vote this year. Smashed into left field by Alonso for a base hit. And the Padres will bring the tying run to the plate now here in the 9th inning. Looked like a fastball belt high out over the plate, and he just went right with it.
It was up. He gave him a little swinging room and a easier pitch for him to take it that way.
Yasmani Grandal, 0 for 3. And then takes a strike. Ultimately, the selection by the fans, the song is a Rush title. Is it Walking Man? Working Man.
It's close.
That's the song that was chosen. So, but it's kind of a cool deal when he enters. When he comes out of the bullpen, Axford enters to the great Morricone song from the Clint Eastwood spaghetti western, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So that's the theme song music that starts, and then it morphs into the song from Rush. Oh, 1-1. Checked to swing, but he went around. And a ball and 2 strikes to count now on Grandal. That's kind of a unique way, though, for a new guy, a new pitcher, new player on a team like Axford coming to a new fan base, a new city, to kind of engage the fans and get them.
Well, yeah, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter to him. What would you guys like to hear? I'm coming in no matter what. My job is to save games. What do you want to listen to?
What do you want to hear
before my saves?
The Canadian native takes a long look in. He sets. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on him. 1 down in the 9th. Big curveball swung right over the top. Now Jet Jerko, who is 0 for 3. Jerko lined to third in the 2nd. He has flied out in each of his last 2 trips. A little bit high. Ball 1. Axford sets the 1-0. Check to swing. They appeal. He did not go, and it's 2-0. Tying run at the plate as you look at Alonso, who leads at first, held by Swisher. And he missed again, ball 3. Gets in the strike zone, 3-1. Axford, in his 4 appearances this year, has walked 4 and struck out 4 in 3 2/3 innings. Now 5 strikeouts. against the 4 walks. Axford has walked Jerko, so down to second goes Alonso. Now the go-ahead run comes to the plate. Before that, let's look back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. McAllister was efficient. He was excellent. And the middle of the order did give the Indians some offense, including the home run. But just the 2 runs overall. That's it. 2-0 our score. Now San Diego with 2 on and 1 out. Only the second time today they've had 2 runners aboard in an inning. Last time was last inning in the 8th. But that came after there were already 2 men out. Venable swings at a high fastball and it's 0-1.
Venable today has seen, that was the 13th pitch he's seen in his at-bats, and 10 of them have been strikes.
Axford's 0-1 pitch. Chased one in front of the plate. It bounced.
Wow.
The runners both advanced, though.
Yeah, there goes a tying run into scoring position. The breaking ball gets out in front, and it was a good read out at second base by Alonso, who got over there, and he realized that it was not a bad block there by Gomes, but he just took off seeing the play in front of him. Watch the jump. See, he didn't hesitate, and that's what really made it. And that guy at first base kept his eyes on the lead base runner. They're both able to move up. A base hit now can tie the game.
0-2, the count on Venable. He lays off a high heater. And the count 1-2. Venable has struck out each of his last 2 trips to the plate, back in the 5th and in the 7th innings. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. 2 gone here in the 9th.
Comes back with another good curveball. Out of the zone. That thing going straight down. Excellent pitch. For the 3rd time, Venable goes down swinging.
And so it comes down to this. Xavier Nady against John Axford. 2 on, 2 out in the 9th. Indians up 2-0. Nady a couple of ground outs and a strikeout on the afternoon. In the air, right field, Murphy makes the catch and the Indians win it. Axford stays perfect out of the year, 4 for 4 in save situations. Zach McAllister gets the win, his first of the year, and the Indians have taken the first 2 against San Diego in this series. They go to 5-3 on the year. Padres drop to 2-7 as the Indians blank them 2-0. And already John Axford is the first pitcher in baseball to get the 4 saves. Time now for our key play of the game. It's brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, let's go back to that